This is Backdoor Boink, where we welcome every side of everyone. Please note, this is an 18-plus podcast. It's time to put in some earbuds if you don't want to answer awkward questions from your children, family, or friends. I'm Kayla, a certified relationship and intimacy coach.
And I'm MJ, and I brought the lube.
In this podcast, we explore the behind the scenes of a weekly wellness topic. Our goal is to help you feel good, be naughty. Thank you for checking out our After Dark, After Hours podcast. You can find more information, including our YouTube channel, social media accounts, events, Discord, and products at boinked.com. That's www.boink-ed.com. Now, let's get in that back door. All right, before we get into tonight's episode, I just have to give a great big shout out to Meegs. Meegs, thank you so much for sending in the voice message, and what an awesome message it is. I appreciate you listening to the Gobble Gobble episode and hope that you enjoy more. But listen to this awesome message from Meegs, and be sure to comment and tell me what you think. Are we sticking with this new suggestion, or do you have anything else?
You have penis pals. What about vulva voyagers? Just a thought. Thanks.
So, not only did I not provide an outline, because we know where that's going.
You have no idea for a topic,
I have no topic. I am running on 13 hours of work straight.
So for those of you who don't know, Kayla's job is to provide me with an outline and tell me what the topic is as we're coming down to record. And yet again, that didn't happen.
It didn't.
Instead, you made pretty graphics.
I made lots of pretty graphics.
Updated the website a little bit.
Organized a whole bunch of events coming for December. One of them's virtual. I'm going to do a virtual rope class.
Why not?
It's going to be freaking fantastic.
I mean, those of us who haven't left the whole COVID lockdown think that's great.
You thrived in COVID lockdown. You were so happy for an excuse not to have to leave the house.
It was the best thing to happen in my social life.
So yeah, I'm going to do a virtual class. So I spent all day organizing that, reaching out to other people for other opportunities.
Had a meeting with the chamber.
Had a meeting with the Mass LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce. Gonna run some pitch contest. Like, I have been working my ass off all day. I have no idea what we should talk about.
Nothing?
No. What do
nothing
you got?
At all? I have nothing. Top of my head.
Top of your head. It has no hair.
Hey.
Does it have a topic?
Sure.
All right, what you got?
Scening with someone other than your partner.
Ooh. Wow, we're flying real off the cuff. Okay.
Yep.
All right, scening with someone other than your partner.
Other than your significant other.
Other than
your standard partner.
Your primary partner, if you have one. Some polycules.
Your primary go-to.
Okay.
Okay, your normal hookup buddy.
Okay.
Okay. What about that?
What about that?
Or we can talk about handcuffs. I don't really care.
No, I like the first topic. I think that's an interesting topic. I mean, I think it's an interesting topic even for people who went into their relationships with the full intention of being monogamous.
Mm-hmm.
Things change.
Things do. They don't have to.
Nope, they definitely don't have to. And there are, of course, relationships where they go into it expecting to be polyamorous.
And turn out monogamous.
Or monogamous. Or, yeah, full-on close the doors. It's just the two of us. Just the two of us.
Don't sing.
Shit. Okay.
Don't scare away the people.
Okay. So, how do you go about it?
Depends on your dynamic, I guess.
All right. Let's assume that these are individuals that are monogamous or at least monogamish.
Okay. And where would you classify us?
Do you want to do that on a podcast for everybody to hear?
I mean, generally speaking,
I would say we are monogamous with a leaning towards monogamish. Very, very rare occasions have there been.
Yeah. Okay. So we have that.
Yeah.
So we'll look at it from our point of view as a monogamous couple.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
And since we are speaking to people that may not generally have this crop up in their lives, I think it's fairly safe to assume that the majority of those people are monogamous. And
Right.
now we're going to be broaching into new territory for them. Okay.
That was my thought.
I think
I mean,
it's-
we can always talk about handcuffs. Those are easier.
You just keep circling back. You're like, oh,
I've
shit.
been up since 4:30. It is now
9:30 at night.
9:30. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, easy works for me too.
No, that's okay.
So where do you want to take this?
Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
How does...
Happy couple going along, living their best monogamous kink life.
Yep. How does it happen?
Well, take us
Okay.
and your rope.
Okay.
Okay? Easy example.
Okay.
Rope's not really my thing.
Rope's not really your thing. You'll...
And you like to throw me under the bus at Munches about that in classes.
I do not throw you under the bus about
You
the fact that you don't like rope so much.
No, it's
I throw
how
you.
I
It's
told
how
you.
you
Yeah.
told me
And-
in the middle of a tie after months and months
Mm-hmm.
of being my practice dummy. Like, hey, I don't really care for the feeling of rope on my skin.
I don't
The fuck?
tie me up. I'm happy with that. I don't care. Don't try and be sensual with rope. That's just not my thing.
And you could really take it or leave it as a scene
As
tool.
a scene thing, yeah. I mean, it's
Okay.
awesome for pictures. I'm one of those.
Aesthetic. Back to what you were saying. Rope. It's
Rope.
something I'm very into for work
Right.
and for my own exploring. And you're not
And
really into it.
So, how do we go about this? You have something you're into. You have something I'm not really into. I'll do it. I'll humor you. It's not a boundary. It's not a limit.
Right. I'm not asking you to surrender your hard limits or anything of that nature.
Right. I'm happy to do it for you, with you, but I don't necessarily enjoy it as much as you do
And
or
as-
other people out there.
Right. And as with anything erotic, it's better if both parties are enjoying it. And just let's be real.
I mean, I'll do it for science. Okay.
Right.
Get me
right.
in that headspace, and I love everything.
And there are lots of things that I do for you, but I'm taking them from a I'll do it for science perspective.
Right.
And yeah, I enjoy it in that capacity, but maybe not in the same headspace where you're at with it.
Right.
Okay. So anyway,
How do we go about this? Well, there's a couple ways we can go about this. I can sit there and be a dummy, grit my teeth and bear it, because like I said, it's not a boundary, it's not a limit. Mm-hmm. Or you can say, hey, I'm going to go to a rope jam, if that's okay. You cool with that? And while I'm there, can I bring a friend that is into rope? Okay. You know me. Sit, stew, ponder. Yeah, sure, whatever. That's the easy side of it. Okay, great. Thanks. What are my limits? What are my boundaries? What can I do? What can't I do? What are you okay with? What am I okay with? Here's where the fun stuff begins.
ooh, I love that you called it the fun stuff.
Well, you know me. I sit and stew.
You
But
do.
some people don't. Some people go, okay, have fun, do whatever you want. I don't care. Just be safe.
Just be safe. No, but the fact that you called it the fun stuff, because I really think that conversations of this nature, when we're talking about not only what interests people, but what doesn't, what do you want to do and what do you absolutely not want to do, that can be a really fun conversation if you're open up to listening.
It can be.
I find it to be an extreme turn on. I have found that in the years that we have become better and better communicators, especially about sexy stuff, holy crap, is that hot. He's nodding.
I'm nodding. I'm thinking. I don't really have a reply. I mean, I like the communication part. I like the debating part. That's why we're here.
That's why that's how I got you to do this.
We generally don't expect logical or correct answers from me.
No one out there does, sweetie.
I'm the smartass.
So I do want to circle back to the very beginning where I said, how does this start? I want to be very clear that this does not start because someone is unhappy with their current dynamic or unhappy with their current relationship.
No, chances are you're not going to ask for permission if that's the case. And
Yeah.
that's a different topic altogether.
That's a different topic altogether. If there are issues in the relationship, it is not solved by looking outside the relationship.
Right. This is comfortable with each other, able to communicate, secure relationships.
Yes. Happy with one another, satisfied with one another.
Getting everything they need at home, they just want to explore a little bit, whether that's just scene play or more.
Well, for this off-the-cuff podcast, we are talking
Scene
scene
play.
play. We're not going into the polyamorous, none of that this time.
Nope.
Strictly scene play.
Scene play.
Not emotions entangled, different levels of, partnership and hierarchies. Scene play.
No, we're keeping it simple.
This time. As
Yeah.
simple as you can with kink anyway.
Where were we?
So we've clarified that it's not due to unhappiness in the relationship. Somebody comes forward and says, hey, there is this one thing that I'm interested in. You are not. I have a friend. Can I take said friend to a casual related event?
Okay. Can I think about it?
Absolutely. Is the proper response. Absolutely. I think as a person who's coming forward and asking for any type of play outside the regular dynamic, they need to expect that this is not a snap decision. This is not an instant response. You should actually encourage them. I have a question for you. I'm going to bring up an idea. I want you to think it over. I'm not pressuring you for an answer. Think it over. We'll come back and talk about it.
So give them time. Don't drop it on them as you're walking out the door.
No, definitely
Got
not.
it.
And even better, the person that's bringing this information forward, ask if now is a good time. Hey, I have something I want to discuss. Are you open to hearing it? Or should we sit down and talk about it after dinner?
Don't just drop it in their plate as they're walking through the door for
Nope.
more.
Nope.
Let them unload that first.
It is important not to be withholding information, but it is also important to let somebody be prepared to hear it. Finding that balance.
You waited until you knew I was home. I had been home for a little bit. I had time to unwind from work, get in the right headspace. Hey, we need to talk. I got to do stuff for work. I need to know if it's okay.
Yep.
I want your opinions.
I want your opinions when you're ready for us to talk about it.
But there's a deadline on it. Okay, fine. What's the deadline? Or there's no deadline, just when you're ready, let me know.
Ideally, these sort of things should have no deadline.
Right.
In my case, there was research I wanted to do
And it was dropped in your lap at the last minute.
at the very last minute. Yes.
That's fine.
Most of the people aren't doing scene-related activities for their daily life that
I
would
know.
require a deadline. So
That's
ideally,
you're one of these lucky people that get to do this sort of research for science.
I absolutely love that part of my job, not the 13 hours sitting at a desk creating marketing and making contacts and anyway,
We're all over the place.
we're all over the place.
So we're in the right headspace. We decide to sit down, have a little chat, cup of tea, cup of coffee, glass of wine, whatever. Where do we go from there?
Have you been given time to think about this? Has the receiver been given time to stew it over? Or are we still at the stage where
No, we're ready. We're sitting down. We're
sitting down to
sitting
talk about
down. We're having this conversation.
it? Okay.
So what's on your mind?
I think it's important to lay the groundwork. So say, I am going to bring up something that's a little bit different than our usual experiences together. Here's why. And I think that here's why is very important. Again, circling back to there's nothing wrong with our current relationship. There's nothing wrong. I'm not unhappy. You're giving that receiver a sense of security that is really, really important. So here's what inspired this interest and my asking that's coming. Now, here's what I would like to do. XYZ. In this case, we're going to say rope scenes with a particular person at a particular location, ongoing or singular episode, whatever the case may be, and give that general overview. Because if you go in with all these lists of demands, the other person's going to shut right down. And you're not going in it really asking
You're
for
kind
approval.
of serving a, what do they call it in the corporate world? Kind of a shit sandwich.
You should always serve a shit sandwich when you're talking to people.
Always.
You
But
start with the good.
I'm sitting here watching you because this topic threw you under a bus
This is
and caught you off guard.
It totally caught me off guard, and this is a very recent situation that
Yeah.
we've had to deal with.
Yeah, this was a month ago
Yeah.
that all this came up.
Yep.
But watching you squirm looking for the words is kind of fun.
Oh my gosh, I'm completely unprepared.
Is this what it's like sitting in that chair watching me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's trade spots then.
Oh shit. I have given him power.
I want the comfy chair.
Oh no, you can't have my throne. No, that's not fucking happening. You sit over there in your little fold-in chair.
So you've served me a shit sandwich.
Yes, I've
essentially.
provided the good bread. Now we get to the meat of it.
There's nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong. That's the
I'm
good bread.
completely happy.
Yep.
I want to do more of this. I know it's not your forte, your specialty, anything that you're really all that interested in.
Yep, that's the shit. That's the meat in the
thank
middle.
you for helping me along the way.
Yes.
And now we're going to...
And now the other side of the sandwich, all right, we've served the meat and the shit in the middle. The other side of the sandwich is going to be reaffirming there's nothing wrong. Take as much time as you need about this. If you say, absolutely no, hard fucking stop, I don't want you involved in any of it, I understand that as a reaction, okay? There's no obligation for you to give and take and that sort of thing. We are in a relationship together. We come to these agreements together. So we've got, yay, everything is happy and good. Oh shit, meats in the middle. And then, yay, we're still happy and good. Now eat this fucking sandwich I just made for you. And then regurgitate it with your thoughts.
Think on it for a few minutes. Don't expect the answer right away.
Exactly.
Give them a few minutes to think on it and let them decide.
More than a few minutes.
Are they willing to give an answer now, or do they need to swallow it and digest it? And I know what type of person I am. I need to run through the gamut of emotions.
Yes. And so normally I would tell people, open the floor up to questions. In our particular case, I know that is not the way to go.
No.
Our particular case is, I've served you your shit sandwich. You go in the other fucking room and you chew on it for a couple days. When you're ready, you come back to me with questions. But for other people, and for other people, that might work as well. Let's not get in the heat of the moment, like, rah about it. But you could say, do you have any questions? Or are you ready to talk about it more in depth? Do you want some time? These are all really good responses after you've served said sandwich.
And the person eating the sandwich then has the floor and the opportunity.
Yes.
You're just going to do rope, just practice some ties, or are you looking for more? Depending on your answer, the other person may have boundaries. Sure, you can do the rope, but please don't do XYZ.
Please don't do full nudity. Please don't do whatever.
I want to save that for us, or for whatever reason.
Yeah. I mean, we're humans. They don't have to be necessarily logical reasons.
Nope.
But they do need to come from a place where you're making sure that it's not your past. It's not your sense of possession. It's not necessarily your upbringing. You're moving forward together in a relationship. And those are the things that hold people back a lot. Whether it's past relationships, well, so-and-so cheated on me, so I, that is my, that's my, or I was raised in a religious household.
You're a Reformed Catholic?
I get that. And I know that we've gone out now and said it's monogamish on very rare occasions for us. And it's something that each and every time on those few occasions you've struggled with because of your religious upbringing.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of separate.
And that's where, for someone like me, I need that time to digest it and go through my upbringing and go through my past and my history and be able to go, okay, but this is a different person, or this is not the same situation, and I need to digest it.
Yeah.
And
over there in the corner eating your shit sandwich.
Sitting there eating it crumb by crumb.
And through that process, though, you're untangling what is you, what is this ingrained jealousy that culture has instilled in us, because I'm not a possession. You're not my possession. We're a partnership. And what
Except
of this?
in certain days.
Oh, I mean, that's a whole. Yes, Daddy. But you're disentangling all the other pieces that are playing into it and figuring out what you want, what is important to you outside of what has been culturally impressed upon you.
Societal norms.
Yeah.
What have you.
Yeah, and it takes time and practice.
And working through it
Together, yes.
Alone and together.
Yep, exactly.
Because I know that you trying to help me work through it would just irritate me. If you were constantly that little fly on my, buzzing around my head trying to help me, even though you're meaning well, I need that space. I need that time. And I think somebody who has had the upbringings and, the society beaten into them, they need that space.
Absolutely.
They need that space to work it out. They'll come to you, and then they'll go away again, and then they'll come back.
Hey, I had a thought.
Fishing a little bit, voicing their thoughts.
Yeah. Give me the fries that go with my sandwich. You know, let me see what this whole meal is about. And you take your fries and you go and you chew on those a little bit. And that's a really good way to go about it. And I think it's very important that, I don't know why we're going with this whole sandwich thing now, but the chef cannot pester the eater to be like, hey, what do you think? Hey, what do you think? Hey, what do you think?
That's just going to shut the person that's eating the sandwich down and just shut the whole thing down.
Yes.
Before any decision's made.
For a couple of reasons. For one, you're not giving the person the time they need to disentangle themselves from all that other shit that is bogging them down mentally or emotionally. But also, that persistence, at least if I was on the eater end, the receiver end of this discussion, it would make me wonder,
is there something really wrong?
Is there something really wrong?
Are they really missing something? Is something wrong?
Why are we being so persistent? Why are we being so pushy? Why is this such a need? Why is it got to be answered so fast? It would bring up a lot more questions and concerns than simply letting the person process in their own time. So we've got steps. We've had the person go off and chew or ask a few more questions or whatever the case may be. And it comes to a point where they feel that they've almost reached a decision. They're ready to sit down and really hash it out. I guess at that point, there are two options.
There's a few options.
I guess, let's categorize them into three options.
Okay.
Number one being no.
Simple. Done. Conversation over.
Yeah.
Any caveats to the no?
No, I think, I guess we can do a little caveat to the no. So the no could be no, never, which I think for any human being, the whole never say never thing.
Yeah.
You don't know what tomorrow, next month. I mean, we didn't get married thinking that we would ever be anything other than monogamous.
Right.
It never crossed our mind. So just never say never. But that is an option. You could say no, never. I'm just not comfortable with it. It's not going to happen. Let's put it to bed. Talk that out, put it to bed, find other ways that this particular interest can be satisfied with one another without pushing any hard boundaries, that sort of thing. The other caveat to the no is not right now.
Not right now. Okay.
Okay.
That's an answer. So no, I'm not going to do it now. Is there a reason why not now versus why not now?
Is there a reason? Yep. I like that. I think a person I almost said entitled, but I think the respectful thing is to be able to give a reason as to your no, even if that no is, it just doesn't sit well with me. I can't get those things to line up. There's something about it I haven't quite put my finger on.
I just have a gut feeling.
I
mean, no is a complete sentence. No is a full stop.
Right.
Come across that, but out of respect for your partner's feelings.
Yep, your partner was willing to come forward with this, and it is a testament to the open communication you have. Something, even if it's you just saying, I don't know exactly what it is, okay. And I like the idea of if the answer is no, not right now, if the person could say, all right, I accept that, maybe why, those sort of things, but also when would it be appropriate for us to circle back on this topic? Because not right now, for some people, means
forever, and some people means give it a month.
Give it a month. Give
I
it a
need
week.
more time to really just think about it.
Give it a year, But that way that expectation is set, so the other person doesn't feel like they're sitting on the edge of something, waiting to bring it back up, dancing on eggshells about it. Hey, you know what? I'm not feeling myself. I'm not feeling as secure. Let's circle back on this in 6 months and see if we can find something that works.
Right.
I think that's a valid response. So we have no and no, not right now.
So the other answer would be yes, but.
I think the other answer would be yes, have at. And then the middle ground in between those two is yes, but. So that's why I was saying 3. I was saying no, yes, and then the middle ground being
The yes, but.
Yes, but. I hope that most relationships have a yes, but, even if that but is,
Be safe.
Be safe. Yes, but be safe. Even if that's all you have to say to your partner.
Be safe, check in,
Yeah.
let me know you're still alive.
Because it's not that you are putting restraints on your partner, you're showing a level of care and compassion at that point. Okay, so, I mean, if you don't care about somebody, then your answer might be, yeah, go ahead. What the fuck do I care? Just
have
go.
at it.
Have at.
What are you saving me for dinner?
Ooh! Ouch.
Ooh. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, that would be me.
Yeah.
I'm the one that cooks around here.
All right, so then we're going to push the yes, have at, fuck it all off the table. And we've already addressed the no and the maybe later. So let's look at that middle ground, that yes, but.
Yes, but. Okay. Yes, go have fun with your rope, but I have a few stipulations.
Okay. What sort of things would you suggest be good stipulation topics to discuss? And I'm going to put an emphasis on that. They are a discussion. This is not, again, this is not ownership. This is not that sort of laying down rules. This is an open discussion about why these requests are being made, making sure everybody is on the same page to the tiniest degree, and both being comfortable with the outcome. What do you think are good stipulations?
Well, like you said before, we're using rope for an example on this one. Clothes.
Yeah.
Keep your undergarments on. I mean, whatever, but it would make me more comfortable.
Okay.
Because we're not talking play, we're talking a scene.
Right.
So could you keep your undergarments on for me? It would make me feel more comfortable.
You know what my response to that would be?
What?
I'll totally keep my bottoms on, but I am all about free the fucking nipple.
Yeah, whatever.
Free the nipple. You can flash your nipples.
We all have nipples.
We all have nipples. All right. And that being said, I would totally want that freedom to free the nipple, but whether or not I actually take advantage of it, it depends on how oomph I'm feeling that day. But anyway, so yeah, it would then create a discussion for us. What do you mean by undergarments? You know, what if I wear a thong? My ass be hanging out.
Still wearing a thong.
I know, but these are things.
Yeah.
Because if you say undergarments and you're picturing my little exercise shorts.
Yeah, your little
that you want me to
boy
keep
shorts.
on, and I go out and but I wore my undergarments because I kept my thong on.
Yep.
We need to make sure that,
Clarification.
yeah, the terms that we're using mean the same to one another.
Okay. Could you keep your underwear on?
My thong?
That's fine.
Okay.
Could you wear panties instead?
Gosh, my face right now is like,
Not granny
wait.
panties. Sexy
Okay.
panties.
Okay, so like something little kinky, a little sexy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still covering things. Maybe you get like half an ass cheek.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
all right.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No pictures with your face, please.
That is a really good stipulation, especially for something that's like a scene.
Right. There are people out there who, if that got out, could lose their job.
Mm-hmm.
If it got out that their partner was out there, they could still lose their job.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's not right,
But it could happen.
but it can happen. Some companies still have a morality clause.
Yep. And social media and the internet, it's forever.
Mm-hmm.
Forever and ever and ever. Yeah. I think those are good stipulations. And they're going to vary depending on each scenario, depending on each scene.
Each scene that you're going for, who you're playing with, can I meet the person first?
That's a really good one.
I mean, that could even come up in the first conversation. Will I have a chance to meet this person before I make a decision?
I think that's a great ask.
I want to know that you're going out and you're being safe.
You're with someone
And you're
that...
with somebody that I can, even if I don't know them enough to say trust them, I get to know them enough to
Get a feel.
judge them a little bit. I know judge is a harsh word,
You caught my face
but
there.
judge for myself the type of character that they seem to be or that they're
Absolutely.
presenting. And you and I both know that we pick up on different things.
Yeah.
You have people that you meet and I'm like, oh boy. And you're just, and this person's so great and so nice. And I'm like, watch out. It'll bite you.
People have their own lens through which they see the world and which they see other people.
Some of them see it through rose-colored glasses. Some of them see it through blue glasses, black glasses. Everybody has a different color they look through. And
With more perspectives, you end up seeing more.
Mine are just gray.
Yours are like black. You're just like squinting at people.
Okay, mine are,
Yeah, exactly.
I automatically see the negative and I have to look for the positive. I know, that's me.
So these are really good. Another thing that comes up a lot in the kink community is events. Maybe not going to scene with any one particular person, but maybe a fetish event.
Going to a workshop, there's going to be a bunch of people there.
Right.
Do you care if I go to the workshop and hang out? And if somebody is looking for a bottom, if I'm a bottom for rope or for, I don't know, a flogger or something? Do you care?
If you're going to one of these events, I think it's a great idea to have a full-on conversation about the full gamut.
Yep.
Because these events can range from anything, orgies to flogging to rope to hook suspension, like actual, like, I'm not yucking anybody's yum. I just have a phobia. I'm so sorry. But all the things, needle play, knife play. I mean, they run the full thing. Cuddle piles. They can have cuddle piles even.
Yep.
So everything from soft and cuddly to like, oh shit, we all going to hell and we like it. So you'd have to go step by step through, I'm uncomfortable with you participating in this. Maybe on this particular practice, only go this far, that sort of thing. Or
Fun in the orgy, but avoid the cuddle pile.
oh my gosh, that's something I would say to you.
Yeah, you would. You would.
Absolutely. But for example, I could see if either one of us ever went to those events, the idea coming up of, hey, go have fun, do XYZ, but reserve this particular activity for us. That's something I've been looking forward to. Let's find a way to make it work for us before you're going and participating in it with strangers.
Right. That's a fair ask.
That's a valid reason as any.
That's fair. Hey, I've always wanted to do this. I know you've wanted to try it too. If you get the opportunity, can you
Save it for me.
save it? Yeah.
Let's have that experience for the first time at least together.
Right. Fair ask.
Okay.
Sorry. Sleepy.
Oh, I thought you were squinting at me with those judgy black tinted lenses that you see through.
Oh, I'm always squinting at you with those black tinted glasses that I kind of see through.
Kind of see through.
Yeah.
They're bifocals. It's fine.
Better to give you the look with.
Yes. All right. So anything that we missed in there with the stipulations, the in-between answer?
I mean, we could touch briefly on boundaries versus limits, because that is, all part of this.
Boundaries versus limits or boundaries versus control?
Limits.
Okay. Have at, because I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Oh, I'm not sure where I'm going either. I was throwing it out there for you to jump in on.
Well, I like to jump on things. So my brain always goes to the difference between boundaries and control.
Okay.
So you can't control someone's behavior.
No.
Technically, you cannot say, don't fucking do this thing. That's control. You can say, if you do XYZ, here's what I will do to remove myself from that situation. That's not something I am willing to participate in. It's not something I am willing to do with you or continue with you. This is my boundary. If you cross it, I remove myself from the situation in one shape, form, or another. But overall, we can't control people.
Okay, but we're always talking pushing boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Expanding your boundaries and horizons. But I'm talking limits. I'm talking not necessarily control.
Okay.
If you cross this line. So, yeah.
A boundary.
No, a boundary can be expanded upon.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking a limit. If you cross this line, there are going to be unpleasant repercussions, such as I'm going to revoke my consent for these. Or, depending on what line you cross, you may be parting ways.
Gotcha.
Those boundaries and limits. Not so much the control of the other person, but you're laying it out there. These are my boundaries. And you, if I give you boundaries, I know you push them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're a brat.
Yeah, that's kind of, it's inherent. I can't help it.
Right. So, I don't even give you limits because what's the point?
I mean, you do. And then I legitimately, and this is a really, please do not take me as any type of appropriate practice for any submissive slave brat kind of thing. I am given limits that should have, that are valid limits and should have repercussions, and I forget them.
Yeah.
So we write them down now.
And she still forgets them.
And I forget to check. I forget to check the shared note in the phone. I'm working on it. I am legitimately, and okay, in all seriousness, I'm not laughing now. I am working on it.
I am.
I'm glad you're laughing. I do take it to heart because I have faltered. Not out of ill intention, not out of, hey, I know this could fuck shit up.
And that's generally why what I say is a limit is like the extent of my boundaries.
Fair. Oh, so you're setting them with the expectation that, okay.
But somebody else, not us, if you cross that line, I mean, you can push boundaries. You can, that glad bag stretches for a reason.
Right.
But once it's broken, it's broken. And you don't want to, I guess what I'm saying is pushing boundaries is one thing. Crossing that limit line is another, and you don't want to ruin what you have because you dipped your toes in the wrong pool.
Oh my gosh, I'm really loving this episode because thus far we have compared communication in a loving relationship to a shit sandwich. And now we're comparing the relationship as a whole to one of those those flex garbage bags where you can push the boundaries, but once you break it...
I'm tired. I told you.
It's fucked. It's just...
going to go everywhere.
There's no salvaging that trash bag. Once it's broken, it's broken.
And there's one person holding the trash bag with all the shit falling out all over the ground.
Going, what the fuck?
Stomping their feet, crying like a little baby.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to pick up yesterday's garbage.
No, that's a lot of garbage instead of a lot of baggage.
Well, it's a lot of baggage for both parties.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
So that's why my limit is this, and I totally expect you to go just a hair past it, because, but that's us.
Not the same for everybody.
Nope.
I don't know that I've ever heard of boundaries and limits referred to in this way for kink. They're either just soft boundaries or hard boundaries, soft limits or hard limits. The words are generally used interchangeably, but I like how, again, in BDSM, in kink, in LGBTQ, the same word can have different meanings to different people. And I like how your brain has taken these two words and distinguished them.
I'll pass that off to other podcasts that I listen to.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And it's been multiple podcasts now. And they talk about boundaries versus limits. The boundaries this is where I'm at my most comfortable. Mm-hmm. This is the wall. But I'm willing to go a little bit further to expand it. Maybe see what else is on the other side. Mm-hmm. But this is definitely a hard limit. This is a full stop, no go. Don't cross this line. Don't collect your $200.
Interesting. I like it. I've only ever looked at it from the relationship standpoint, where a lot of people are trying to control somebody in a relationship.
Right. And
is to say, for example, let's just like scale it back, way the fuck back. And I would be like, you can't cuss around me.
The fuck I can't.
It's a control statement. You can't cuss around me. You're not allowed to do that. As opposed to, my boundary is cussing. I'm not comfortable with it. It feels disrespectful. If you do that, I'm going to step out of the room.
Fair enough. I will do what I can to control my cussing around you, but I'm not going to make any promises that it's not going to happen. Because I fucking do it at work all day long.
But the other key there is that you said around you. You are going to try your best to meet my boundaries around me. I'm not controlling you in your day-to-day saying, you can't cuss when you leave the fucking house. You can't do that. I've shown I've shown what my boundaries are in my atmosphere and what I will do to protect myself, but I'm not controlling you.
Nope. You're asking me to respect
my boundaries
your
when
wishes
you're around me.
To be around you, and I'm promising to do what I can, and you're giving me the repercussions, so to speak. You're going to leave. Yeah.
I got to do what I got to do to keep myself in what I feel is a safe environment, that sort of thing. Exactly. Yeah. So I guess we've hit, not only the topics of scening outside of your primary relationship, but now we're talking about the differences between boundaries, limits, and control.
Hey, look, 3 episodes.
Yeah.
15 minutes apiece.
Well, bam.
We're done.
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. All right. You got it. We're done. That means you have one more job.
Good night.
No, not that one. The stuff that rhymes. It's rhyme time.
Oh, rhyme time.
Yeah, let's do it.
Is that kind of like sign time?
Oh, I love sign time. I'm learning sign language again. I'm learning it again.
For the umpteenth time.
I'm having a lot of fun, though.
Good.
Let's see what you got.
I ain't got much. There's not much left up here. There was a young girl of Cape Cod who thought babies were fashioned by God, but 'twas not the Almighty who hiked up her nighty, 'twas Roger, the lodger, by God. Good on Roger.
Good on Roger. Oh,
or good on the young lady. I mean,
hey.
Depends.
Since we just talked about how I'm a recovering Catholic, I'm all about it. It's a good one. Hike it up. All right. Now you may do the other thing.
Thanks for tuning in. Oh, wait. That should be at the beginning. Good night.
Oh, I love you.
Do you?
I do.
Really?
I do, but I was talking to the audience. No, I'm just kidding. No,
that wouldn't surprise me.
I love you all. I love you at the microphone. I love you on the other end of the speaker. Thank you all so much for listening. And if we could just get a round of applause, because MJ did an amazing job tonight.
MJ's all over the place tonight.
He caught me off guard. He came up with a great topic. This was absolutely exciting. Thank you so much, and we will be here for you next week. But in the meantime, stay you, stay beautiful, feel good, be naughty. Good night. Thanks again for listening to this podcast. I started Boink in 2022 with the goal to create a safe environment and culture for all genders and sexual orientations, to learn about and embrace every part of themselves and one another. We offer workshops, events, and various inclusive products, along with consultations, to make sure we take a holistic approach to enhancing individuals' sexual satisfaction with themselves or their partners. I believe that when you accept yourself and your partner on the most intimate of levels, it filters out into your daily life. The World Health Organization recognizes this, saying sexual health is fundamental to the overall health and well-being of individuals, couples, and families, and to the social and economic development of communities and countries. So as long as you'll have us, Boink will be here. Kink-affirming, gender-blurring, sex-fulfilling. And you can find any of our details at www.boink-ed.com.